You're probably tired of seeing this shirt. And I was wearing a different shirt earlier, as Charlie of Charlie Brook could attest to, were she here. However, whilst I was chatting to Charlie, I went off to get a cup of tea my dad had made me, and it got cold, so I thought, well, I'll microwave it, not seeing the korma jar in front of the microwave. So when I opened the door, that fell on the floor and I got covered because there was no lid on it. So I had to change into this shirt that you've all seen a lot recently. Please ignore the background, but these are copies of Our Doris. This is an Heir to Murder. These are all the damaged copies that I referenced in my video on Saturday. An update on that is that Amazon have said that they will give me a refund on the books that were damaged. So while I still have these books here that I cannot sell, I might use these as the copies that I donate to libraries because they aren't unreadable. It's just that their covers have some damage at the edges, but if these are being read regularly, that can happen with copies in libraries. Anyway, hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I'm here to talk about tea. I put in a rather large order with Bird and Blend tea, not sponsored, and Charlie Brook, said that I ought to record a haul, and I've drank some of these teas now, so I can give you some thoughts about them. Although I know nothing about tea, despite the fact that I drink at least 10 pints of tea a day, I could not tell you anything about tea. What it's supposed to taste like, all you're going to get off me is whether it's good or not, whether I like it or not. So, a few weeks ago, I saw that they were doing this Halloween countdown calendar of 13 different teas for Halloween, and I thought, well, should I get it? And then I went on to buy it the next morning and it had already sold out. And they were advertising their advent calendars again, not this Sunday just gone, the Sunday before, and I knew that I wanted one, and I sent messages to several people saying to them, remind me at 10 o'clock to get on the website. I've not got one for years because I thought it's a bit of an expense, but this year I've decided to share it with my mother. So whilst I was doing that, months ago, someone had said that I ought to celebrate the fact that Our Doris is out and that I've finished the series. And I couldn't really think of any way to celebrate. And then it came to me. So I bought a lot of tea. Why wouldn't I? I'm Northern. We drink tea. The first tea that I knew I was going to buy was inspired by Stuart over at the Library is Open because they mentioned in their recent video having the mint pistachio tea, which I currently have a cup of over there, and they were having theirs with a dash of almond milk. I've been having mine with hazelnut milk. It's not my favourite of all the teas in here, and I was a bit wary of having a tea that had mint in with a tiny bit of milk, but I have to say it does work because there can be something a bit bitter sometimes with this tea, and for whatever reason it works with a bit of milk, although I've just realised it says natural flavouring. Now what exactly does natural flavouring mean? It says heavenly Persian pairing of mint and pistachio with peppermint, cardamom and natural flavouring. Is the natural flavouring where this is coming from? I don't know. Either way, it's alright. It says medium caffeine. Oh, that's a good idea. I've not read these before. Medium caffeine, whatever that means. Either way, it's alright. It's not my favourite out of this bunch, but I'll talk to you about that as I go through. Here's a tea that I've had before, which is called Enchanted Narnia. And they say, Turkish delight brew with magical rose and creamy cocoa. Rosebuds, cocoa shells, rose petals, lemongrass and raspberry leaves. I just like it as a floral tea. But I have to say, it's been about 5 years since I ordered off the company before, because it takes me a long time to get through the tea, and I worked out that I have about 70 cups worth, if not more. So it's going to take me a while to get through them. So I've had this one before. I like it. The fact that it's called Enchanted Narnia I find quite humorous because I'm not the biggest fan of the Narnia books, but I am quite a fan of this tea. You have it without milk. It's one of those that can make me feel very pretentious very easily. It's one of those that can make me feel like somebody's great auntie. I can feel a bit like Miss Havisham with this tea. What else have I had before? Baby spice I've had before. So they have spiced pumpkin pie, which is their big thing at autumn. It just came out last week, and whilst I do like that one, and I have to have that one with milk because I can find it, I don't know, I find it a bit strong. However, baby spice, you have this without milk. Prefer it. This one has cinnamon, ginger, cloves, pumpkin pieces, apple pieces, rose hips, sprinkles, sugar, potato starch, malted extra and vegetable fat, and olive. Okay, that's all in the sprinkles. Colours: E163 anthocyanins, E100 curcumin, safflower, natural flavouring, and this is caffeine free. And had it years ago, was a fan then. Hopefully a fan now if my palate hasn't changed too much. Then I've got Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And I have to say it was the name that sold this because I used to like the film with Angela Lansbury, which says fruity herbal tea blend with a touch of magic. Apple pieces, hibiscus, elderberries, chamomile, nettle, rose petals, rosehip, lavender, freeze-dried strawberry, jasmine blossom, natural flavouring. I don't know what all these natural flavourings are. I haven't tasted this one yet, so I can't review it. In my head, I thought I'd tried it before, and then I realised I haven't. It was the name that sold it because I used to like the film. Indeed, I've only seen, like, so this what Bedknobs and Broomsticks in my head always got paired with Mary Poppins, and I haven't seen that film, but I've seen Bedknobs and Broomsticks a lot. I don't have a magical bed. I wouldn't mind having a magical bed. I wouldn't take a magical bed anywhere special. I wouldn't be going to Portobello Road or under any sort of water. I'd just be going from work and back, you know. Have it appear in the back room. Then we have Butter Brew, a wizarding wonder of creamy caramelly delight. This, I don't think, was a regular tea that they had all the time when I first started ordering from Bird and Blend. I think that this was a special release that only got done every now and then. And loads of people enjoyed it, and I could never order it because it was always out of stock. However, when this order came, they always give you a free sample, and they gave me a free sample of a tea bag of this tea. This Butter Brew could easily become my everyday tea because it says caramelly. I'm not the biggest fan of caramel flavours. I got this because I thought that Butter Brew meant that it was going to be a bit like butterscotch. I know it's based on a drink from a popular children's book series. I'd really wanted to try it. Tried this tea bag of it and thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I say, it could easily become the tea that I have every day. Nice drop of hazelnut milk in there. Fantastic. In fact, that's what I found. I found with the Bird and Blend teas that I don't like to have them with me normal skimmed milk. So I'm getting through me hazelnut milk at quite a pace. I've already been using it in smoothies and things. I've been having it on cereal for years. I've been drinking it on its own. Hazelnut milk is perhaps my favourite type of those nut milks. But with these teas, I get through it a lot faster than normal. Then what do we have? So let's go to this tea next. This is the Mocha Chai. And this I got because it's got cinnamon and it's got ginger in. Now, ginger, one of my favourite flavours. Can't go wrong with ginger and me. Cocoa nibs, coffee beans, vanilla pieces. I have to say, I got this because a few years ago, I was very fond of their Christmas tea, Fairy Tale of New York. I don't know whether they still do it at Christmas. As I say, it's been a while since I've ordered due to saving money, that sort of thing. No bad reason. Also, it takes me a long time to get through their teas. But it takes me a long time because for whatever reason, I can't just buy one at a time. I bulk order and then it lasts me for a while and then I bulk order again. So Mocha Chai, this exists. It's fantastic. It gives me that sense of having a, well, all I can say is it says medium caffeine on the front, but I got a buzz from it. But that probably just goes to show that really I'm not as soulless as I thought. I don't know, but it did fill a void that I'd felt since the lack of Fairy Tale of New York tea. And now we get to what has been my favourite, what has been the standout, what I have been restricting myself to one mug of tea at the end of the day, because this is mint chocolate Rooibos. Many years ago, I used to get a cocoa tea from Yogi Teas, and that made me feel like I was having a hot chocolate even though it was tea. This is like having a mint hot chocolate at bedtime. Now that might just be because I haven't consumed sugar since 2019. Well, I've had tiny bits here and there, but I've very much limited it. So I don't have a lot of sugar. I can't really cope with very sweet things anymore. So this might be reminding me of hot chocolate because this tongue ain't used to sweet things anymore. But I don't know. Rooibos can sometimes have an aftertaste that I don't particularly like, but with the peppermint and the chocolate, there's just something going on that this tea works so well. I make a pint of this in the evening. I've been having it about 10 o'clock before I go to bed. And once it's got ready for drinking, that's it. It's basically gone in one gulp. So this has been the standout. If this stays on their website, I don't know whether it does. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what their works. I'm not a member of their company at all. But I would be very glad to have a lot of this in future. This is fantastic. This is brilliant. This is a tea that I look forward to drinking. But then, to be fair, I don't have very many pleasures in life anymore, do I? I have books, I have walking, I have YouTube, but I don't have alcohol, I don't have sugar, and I make me coffee at home because it's got very expensive in town. I also decided that I was going to buy their Halloween tin. But what do they call these? There's a name for these. What do you call these? It's not a decanter. It's a tin. But they don't call it a tin. They don't call it a coffin. They don't call it a container. But I fell into the whole thing of it being seasonal and like Halloween and dark. And because it was dark, I thought it might go with the one I had a few years ago from Christmas, which is white. The only difference is that this one's a bit thicker metal-wise and a bit airtight, which this doesn't have. A bit shorter and squatter. But this kind of then feels like the evil older sister. Not that it's evil. It's just a tin. A caddy. That's what they call it. A tea caddy. Although I do feel like tea coffin is more appropriate. Anyway, look at that. I managed to fill 12 minutes of my time talking about tea, and that just goes to show how much tea I actually ordered. But, you know, I do have a bit of an obsession when it comes to tea. And really all I was doing as well was, well, as I say, Charlie requested this video. I'm enjoying drinking the tea. It's one of those things. I always seem to switch to herbal teas when I'm planning on being more creative, because sometimes a herbal tea can just give me that sense of being a little bit more pretentious and writerly. Sometimes it doesn't make me feel anything at all. Charlie's a very strange human being. I don't know how he's lasted so long on this planet, really. Anyway, we acquired this tea to celebrate Our Doris, which is now out, as evidenced here. And it's definitely going to last longer than a bottle of champagne, I think. Although, to be fair, I don't really go in for champagne. I don't even drink as much Pinot Grigio as I used to. I just, like, have a bit of bitter every few months. Pick up my favourite tea that I dropped on the floor and say to you that if you're a fan of Bird and Blend and have ordered anything off them before, are there any teas that you would recommend? Are there any here that you might go and try after watching this video? Do let me know. Do you like tea? If you don't drink tea, what do you drink instead? Let's have a conversation about all the beverages, because what else are you going to do on a Tuesday? I don't know. I was supposed to be working on a book, but we don't talk about those things. Anyway, I hope that you got something out of this video, because until next time, that is all.